So you'll notice that I may be doing some side content like this. I don't know if this is going to be a good idea, but I'm already here doing it. So I'm going to do it. So these are a few boss fights. Timestamps are going to be in the description or the chapters that you can see on the video. Otherwise, well, what you're seeing is what you're seeing. Yes, I'm going to keep this in the recording, but Darriwil, Agheel, as you will see, and then the Mariner, but that's kind of, well, I mean, I don't know. It'll depend, but I want to say Tibia Mariner, is that how you say it? Is not going to be as hard, but I'm going to add it as an extra because it's something I did. I haven't played Elden Ring in the last, I want to say 24 hours, so unfortunately this is all I have. Oh, my fingers. But as you can see, it's my playstyle hasn't really changed as much. Yes, I should be, well, for the fights that I can use spirits in, I should be using spirits, but I didn't, as you saw in the Godric video. Here, on the other hand, I'm doing what I normally do. I've been looking back, not really peeking as much, but I have been watching other people play at the bare minimum. Again, in context of my current progress, I'm not trying to see anything farther than where I'm at, although that's kind of hard to say because since it's open world, then yeah, it's sometimes I might see things that I don't mean to, not that it's really spoilery, so it's okay. Darriwil, on the other hand, has really, really easy ones. This is after I fought Godric, so really Darriwil is an easier fight. That's not to say I didn't die a lot of times, but you know, oh goodness. Sorry for the knocking, by the way. I'm recording in a weird area. So Agheel here, on the other hand, I'll do real commentary because, again, Darriwil was Darriwil, but Agheel is at least, I want to say in my personal opinion, a test to your basic competency in horse riding. I don't doubt you can fight Agheel without a horse, but it would help you a lot. And with my gear level, status and my status in general at this point in the game, anything the dragon does is likely to 50% of the dragon's attacks will one-shot me, the ones that are obviously look like you should dodge them. Everything else does nearly all of my life, if not at around 75% minimum, so yeah, I'm trying to play it safe. On the other hand, Glintstone Arc, a really handy skill here. Glint Blade would be okay as well, but you would really need to make sure, you probably only get one. After you attempt two or a charge shot, you may not be able to get it. But again, this is before I properly learned that you could charge Glint Blade. But Arc does as well. Arc does just as well here, as you can see. I shoot for the head because it does 99 compared to hitting it anywhere else, which probably does like 66 or lower. So that does make a big difference. You know, looking at these bosses, at least the ones in Area 1, they don't have a lot of life. So theoretically, they are balanced for people, you know, not just starting the game, but once you're like at least level 20, I say you can attempt these. Agheel, on the other hand, if I were to give any beginner advice, yeah, make sure you get your horse, make sure you get Torrent before you fight this thing. Again, one last time, I don't doubt you can do it without your horse. I'm sure someone wants to do it for the vanity, for the pride, for the honor, but for everyone else who's, you know, new to Elden Ring, even if you have some Souls experience, a horse would probably do you well. There are some nice horse attacks I've seen that, you know, do a lot of damage, but here I'm using spells, so it works just as well. Like I said, you'll notice that I took 4 MP pots. That's because, again, my theory here is that I should never be getting hit. The only time I'll really consider a health potion or two is if I am unsure of a boss's attacks, in that there are moments where if I think that I'm taking a risk or there's RNG involved, I'll take a health potion or two because it's in my favor theoretically. It's to my advantage to bring it, because if I guess wrong, I'm going to get hit. If I guess wrong too many times, I die. And without a health, and in that case, if you're thinking about it, then more health potions allows you more correct guesses. If I were to say, not that a lot of bosses at the very beginning here, first bosses, everything up to Godric, especially in this area as well, they don't really have RNG things. You can play really, really safe and beat them without any health pots. Or if you're a speedrunner, or if you're someone with the ability, you can beat an enemy without any health pots as well. If you're confident in your dodging and or allow yourself maximum 1 or 2 hits, that won't kill you. As for people who, you know, are using the samurai background or are heavily armored and prepared, Yeah, otherwise you're looking, so yeah, it's at this point I'm looking at Agheel being a spider dragon because Agheel just decides arbitrarily to fly out of zone, which he can do. I don't know if he does it in this video, I can't remember for some reason. But if Agheel does fly out of zone and he teleports, do know that his health does not reset for anyone who's watching who may not have known that. Otherwise, sometimes Agheel decides to be spider dragon. It's not so bad, but I'm still going to treat it as if he fell in the ruins, which is another bad place that Agheel can land, because if you run into the ruins and get stuck while he's throwing fire at you, as he did to me once, then yeah, you end up pretty much dying. At that time, I knew I probably shouldn't have risked it, but I decided to once, and I regretted it. So here, I'm just sitting here waiting. I take a little point here, I take a risk there, but I almost end up dying there. Also, I gotta remember that jump is an option you can do. In fact, jump is, I think there are 2 important attacks for these first area bosses that jumping literally just dodges the attack. But even though this is my first Souls game, I'm still in a Souls-like mindset. It's not like I've never watched someone play an old Souls game, so I know that dodging and movement is very important. I'll get to dodging in a bit, but jumping is a legit dodge movement as well. It is a movement option you have, and I should be testing things out. Before I move into dodging, testing things out on the other hand, so obviously you've seen me test out, otherwise I wouldn't be playing as safe as I would now. If I was a little bit riskier, if I wanted to, speed the fight up and I was confident, yeah, I could have done that, but if you die, then you've wasted time. If I test things out, but I could just beat something, especially, since the game is new to everyone and we're making progress, then there's no point in me testing things out if the point is to make progress and get the thing done. That way I get stronger. If I wanted vanity, if I wanted pride, if I wanted more honor, then I would test things out and see, oh, I can actually, roll through that fire breath, or roll through this attack, or a horse run under his wings in such a way that I get so much DPS. But yeah, no, otherwise I'm playing it moderately safe. So yeah, I go for a stat check there, and this bug does not want me to show my status. But yeah, that's Agheel. I think it's a good, design-wise, it's a good choice for getting players to become comfortable with their horse, and I advise new players to fighting Agheel to use their horse, at least to learn, if you're not trying to beat Agheel anyway. So I do a gear check here, and we're pretty much moving on. I think the takeaway from this next boss you're going to see is the use of spirits and how great they can be. I'll repeat it again. Here, this boss is mainly here to show that my use of spirits among, the spells that I'm learning, or learning to use, I'm sorry. But the spirits in this case, which you should have, you can have spirits as early as a Margit. Basically, it's a different requirement, but it is possible to get it, and I do recommend people get it before Margit, and especially before Godric, because it does make a difference. And the reason is simple. If you played Monster Hunter, you would understand that the more targets a boss has, if it aggroes someone else, that allows you to do DPS, or it allows you to catch a breath, to heal, to do other things, to prep spells in this game. Maybe if you're running archery, if you're running with bows, then it allows you to keep your distance and shoot bows while the enemy boss is preoccupied with someone else. Or even if you summon another player or an AI, I don't know what exactly you get. I've been playing offline, but it does help a lot, especially if I've been watching people who stream and record this game fight Margit and Godric, and I've just literally, the people who come to their aid are just outgearing the fight, and that is a legit way to play the game. In fact, again, I recommend people play that way, use spirits, use everything to your advantage to win a boss fight. But me, on the other hand, it's not a matter of pride. It's not that I think I'm better by not fighting with spirits, or at least for the early bosses, not using anything in my power, not connecting to online multiplayer, which is a whole other thing. I think that was fixed, though. I think they fixed the issue as long as because, well, at least in console, it should be kind of self-evident that there's anti-cheat, but I think in that way I can advise the people around me to start playing with multiplayer turned on if they wish to. I'm still going to play it offline because that's just how I play, but yeah, so that's that. So there are moments when I stun, like I think that's a stun as well, but I don't manage to get it. I know it's very important to get crits to do backstabs, but I don't, so we'll see if I can get more later on, learn parry times, but otherwise that's the end of this video. If you watched it to the end, I'd like to thank you for watching. I should be playing more. Hopefully I'll get more gameplay in, and that'll be all. See you later.